got broadcast, help Truth Stream Media. Nice can of whoop ass and
On July 31st, 1941, newspapers ran major headlines about the fresh discovery in U.S. banks of a $3 million fund, subsequently frozen, that was established by German industrialist Fritz Thyssen, notorious by this point for his role in funding Hitler's rise from obscurity to power, and for backing the Nazis through the end of 1938, at which time Thyssen ostensibly dissented against prevailing views.
1938. Man, time of the year, 1939. Time moves a little bit slower back then.
Against prevailing views. Specifically, Tyson's account, seized by U.S. authorities under the Trading with the Enemy Act, but returned after the war, was established through the Union Banking Corporation, which he set up in partnership with Wall Street bankers noteworthy as the principal directors of Brown Brothers Harriman and Skull and Bones members.
Very coincidental. Now, I just want to reassure Truth Stream Media. I'm not monetarily gaining off this. Y'all speak the truth. I appreciate the truth. If I'm able to monetize this video, I hope that all the proceeds go towards your channel. But, other than that, I'm not paid by nobody besides the citizens of this free world.
Oligarchical collectivism in all its wretched form is so crystallized in this building right here, where people like Bush and Harriman were involved in the skullduggery of any given year and decade that they were alive and active, which was for quite a long time.
W. Averell Harriman, the premier diplomat and future governor, his brother E. Roland Harriman, and Prescott Bush, the future senator and father and grandfather, respectively, of two future presidents.
I'm not going to go through this entire video here because Truth Stream Media deserves the views, but what I'm going to do is provide you with some breadcrumbs.
How many people still write checks? Still got a check book? When you go home, take a magnifying glass and put it over the line where you sign your name. It's not a line at all. It's a contract. I'm going to say it again slow because some of y'all looking at me like you're about to get mad at me. Speaking sounds. Music is used to calm patients in hospitals, to stimulate sexual arousal, to get shoppers in the mood to spend money, excite crowds at football and basketball games. It was used to communicate to soldiers in the battlefield, and rituals and
music releases dopamine. I tell you what, freaking nothing gets one more motivated when marching, just doing this grueling task, than performing a cadence. Up in the morning, out of the rack, waking at dawn with an early attack. First I should rush me off the chow. Hell, I don't need it anyhow. Halo, halo, infantry. Queen of battle, follow me. An airborne ranger's life for me. For nothing in this world is free.
Alright? And religious rights. Let's understand that. I talked about Beyonce morphing herself into Sasha Fierce, which I said was demonic possession. Alright? Let's take a look at this. LeBron James said he was happy to be on the cover of Vogue. So we're talking about Black History Month.
I don't mean to steer away from it, but I just saw this. Look at the horns. Is that LeBron James? Like, I'm not trying to be racist. Like, I'm not freaking culturally, in tune. And I believe that's, Beyonce. I don't know who, but.
And putting the pieces of the puzzle together, this should be a shame. Are you following me? But instead of looking at it, let's look in it. How many people notice the horns on the top of his head? See, we have to become simple literate and understand what's going on. This is the second gold cover that I just showed you guys. Now, what's up?
Dave Chappelle, another great comedian, said that, in the industry, they tried to make him wear a dress. Have you ever ran into that with scripts? And is that something that, you wouldn't do, for
I definitely haven't ran into to put on the dress. I mean, you have to have boundaries. You have to have limits that you refuse to cross. For me, I know what they are. They've yet to been challenged, so I don't have to speak on them. I was asked to dribble a basketball on the talk show this morning. I said no to that. Not that was a dress, but I was like, no, I'm gonna look stupid. At the end of the day, you gotta know that you're a brand. I'm a brand. You need to protect your brand at all times. When things happen that can possibly affect your brand.
Why are people branding themselves? And I understand, like we're supposed to be all freaking anti-capitalist that and anti-capitalist this, but so it just makes me like, why are these brands telling us, to wear their brand, like BLM, Antifa, Proud Boys, like MAGA, whatever it is. Everyone's just trying to brand people. What I know are branded, those that are branded, those are cattle. Those are sheep. That's livestock. And that's the problem, is that there's a lot of people who are not branded and they're being forced to brand themselves, and that's not who they are. And that's the way that we're, these elites are destroying America, is through branding. And now, I've always made the point, I barely wear brands. I don't really advertise brands. I can't say that I don't, because I do. Just like, can't get away from everything from China, but you know what? There's, if we do 90%, if everyone does 90%, then friggin', hey, that's a hell of a lot percent on the global economy, especially because we make up the mass consumeristic market.
Your brand can be diminished, and you don't want that to happen. So,
What makes a brand? Who makes a brand? Do people make a brand? And if someone, either one becomes a brand on one's own, or one is, we're gonna brand you. You're gonna be our little bitch. That's what happens to these politicians. That's what happens with the elites. And that's what happens with anyone that's famous, is that they essentially become branded. And some people do not want to earn ranks within those brandings. And that's why they've been outcast.
Protecting my brand is
Kevin Sorbo, for instance.
definitely a priority.
I mean, I'm a conspiracy theorist to a degree. Like, when I connect dots that maybe shouldn't be connected, I don't know. But certain dots, like when I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them down like, wow, these brothers gotta wear a dress. This happened to me. I'm doing a movie with Martin.
Yeah.
The movie's going good. So I walk in the trailer. I'm like, man, this must be the wrong trailer because there's a dress in here. They come in. The writer comes in. I think he's the writer. He's like, Dave, listen, we got this hilarious scene where Martin's sneaking out of jail. So he disguises you as a prostitute. And he put this dress on. And, what? A prostitute? No, I'm not doing that. I don't feel comfortable with that. That should have been in the discussion. What? You don't feel comfortable with it? I mean, it's a hilarious bit. All the greats have done it. So, well, if all the greats have done it, it's kind of hacky, right? You're a writer. So why don't we just not do it? Because I don't feel comfortable wearing a dress. Oh, come on, Dave. Listen, we got it all set up. We're supposed to shoot. Every minute you waste costs this much money. The pressure comes in. He said, I'm not wearing no dress, man. I'm funnier than a dress. Just give me something funny to say. I don't even wear no dress to be funny.
Maybe I am outspoken, especially towards the ebony race, and that's because that they're, some of the few that actually understand these things. And no matter how, I plead my ignorance, and because I am ignorant, but the thing is, I'm at least open enough to discuss these matters. And so I think I get like a little, I get by, because I realize who's really being oppressed here, and it's the black man. It's on the black, black family. I mean, because the black man, he's got it from the man and the system. And the thing is, look at John Henry. He was freaking, he was the most motivated fucking railroad driver in the damn world. And he freaking died trying to beat a machine. And you know what? Freaking that's very important, because, I think that all the greats die fighting the damn machine.
About Milton Berle, blah, 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 we're going like this. And then finally it's like, and he leaves, and then like the director comes, Dave, it really would be great if you wear the dress. What is wrong? What is this, Brokeback Mountain in here? So then, wear the dress. I don't want to wear the dress. I want to wear this dress. This is, oh gosh, this guy's so difficult. They leave. Now the producers comes, come on, David, would be so great. And then I started thinking about all the comics that I've seen. Man, strong brothers, why they be putting us in these dresses? But the minute it was clear, I was adamant, I'm not wearing a dress. I'm not wearing the dress. All right, fine. Think of something else. That comes back 10 minutes later. The whole new scene. Damn, how did you write the scene so fast?
So isn't that, like, just showed a side of Hollywood that people don't talk about, and it's like, why do black men have to go in dresses? And I don't believe in race. I don't believe in this entire construct of things. You know what? The thing is that there is something that's going on out there, and I'll do my best to describe it from my perspective. And to understand, I'm very shallow in my thinking and things of that nature. I'm far from friggin', an innocent, motherfucker. Far from. But what it comes down to is that, you got like that one there, and then actually, that's kind of, because that's what it comes down to. Like I said, I've been to Masonic lodges, a Masonic lodge, and was introduced to some things.
It's like, so you gotta take a stand.
And here come the Cardinals. And from the looks of it, the new pope is not Turkson. The new pope is 9-year-old Oscar nominee, Kavenzhane Wallace.
Wow.
That's Kevin Hart. Oops. That's Kevin Hart. Selling out. Because that's all freaking Peter Wood ever sees you as, is nothing more than a little girl.
I don't think anyone saw this one coming.
Kavenzhane Wallace, of course, the first African American, the first female, and first child pope.
And what is the new pope doing?
Pope Kavenzhane is lifting her arms into her signature muscle man pose.
Truly adorable, and everyone loves.
I'm a big man. Look at me rock my world. I do whatever it takes. I just suck the dick of the establishment. Now I'm going to be working with Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and we're going to be friggin', big dumb guy for a smart little guy. Mice and men. Yeah.
except for presumed frontrunner Cardinal Turkson, who does not look happy. But it looks like Pope Conventione is doing the Dougie, and Turkson is loving it.
Well, I think I speak for all of us when I say, go, Popey, go, Popey, go.
And it appears as if Pope Conventione is about to speak. This, of course, translates from the Latin to who demand.
Ego sum hominem.
Which means I'm demand.
Which means I just took it in the ass. I just sucked dick. And you know what? Now you get to say you're the man. Because you're the one.
And the arms are back up for another victory lap. A real grand slam.
He said, Kevin, you out here in Hollywood doing God knows what? Sex, drugs, money. Lord knows what you're into. Need to get a relationship with God. I said, don't talk to me about God. I'm fine, okay?
Prior to this one called Analytics, 20 years of interviews and conversations with Professor Griff, where I mentioned the Obama deception, which I use as one of the chapters of the book. The reaction that I got from that particular thing was ridiculous, simply because black people on one hand think that Obama's the savior. You understand what I'm saying? And we should not hold him accountable for some of the promises that he made. On the other hand, I really truly don't understand why is it that when we put the truth out there, why is it that other nationalities and races won't come to the table to understand that, look, these are some basic truths, all right, in black and white. So the amount of flack that I got back from it from both black and white people and everybody in between, Republicans, Democrats, I call them Republicrats, has been just nothing but, well, I don't believe you, and we're not asking anyone to believe us. Do the research like we do the research, and you'll be convinced also.
Do your own homework and make up your own mind. Don't believe anybody. The evidence, the information is always out there. One of the things I always found surprising is that whenever Bush was in power, when we were speaking out against the same things, they were calling us jihad-loving liberals. We were actually called that on Fox News. Now, when Obama's in office, we have Chris Matthews of MSNBC with the Southern Poverty Law Centers calling us right-wing racist. Our position has never changed. We are still the same people. But can you tell us, why is there always this shift? Why do people always keep going along with this left-right? And do you think there's an answer to breaking that paradigm?
Of course, it needs to be a political paradigm shift. We're always talking about cultural and educational paradigm shifts, but no one talks about politics, which is the science of governing people. We never talk about this particular worldview, your paradigm, everything that you think, everything that you feel, everything that you plan. We never think about taking those things and shift it in the political arena. We talk about the science of governing people. We need to begin to talk about the science of governing yourself. If we keep relying on government, so to speak, to take care not the wants, but the needs of the masses of the people, we're going to end up broke, lonely, out of doors, and hungry, and begging for the same people that want to oppress us. We're going to be begging them for our daily dose of bread and medicine. And it's sad because we wake up our children early in the morning to feed them Captain Crunch and take our children and deliver them into the hands of the people that's trying to oppress us. And I think that's sad.
It's slowly.
We expect them to be normal.
Exactly. And we expect a difference, and we expect to change every 8 years, and it never really happens.
But just like we are changed as, we are changed. We need to be the change that we want to happen.
That we want to see in this world, and we can only do that with positive, proper action. Now, another thing I wanted to get into, now the term Illuminati, it's a very general term. Like, everybody throws it out there, everybody uses it, but how would you concisely kind of break it down so that the average person who never heard of it would understand it? What is the Illuminati, and how would you explain that to somebody who never heard of that word before?
If a person that's never heard of this term Illuminati needs to understand, work
working fundamental definition of what the Illuminati is? The Illuminati, as Adam Weishaupt said back in 1776, I believe, is holders of the light, the enlightened ones. And these only consist, it's not a lot of people. It's a handful of people in 1776, I believe, is holders of the light, the enlightened ones. And these only consist, it's not a lot of people. It's a handful of people, and the Illuminati only consists of 13 bloodlines. And if that blood is not running through your veins, you're not part of the club. Plain. The Illuminati, as Adam Weishaupt said back in 1776, I believe, is holders of the light, the enlightened ones. And these only consist, it's not a lot of people. It's a handful of people, and the Illuminati only consists of 13 bloodlines. And if that blood is not running through your veins, you're not part of the club. Plain and simple. I don't care what line you have in your song. Never heard of this term Illuminati. Needs to understand a working fundamental definition of what the Illuminati is. The Illuminati, as Adam Weishaupt said back in 1776, I believe, is holders of the light, the enlightened ones. And these only consist, it's not a lot of people. It's a handful of people, and the Illuminati only consists of 13 bloodlines. And if that blood is not running through your veins, you're not part of the club. Plain and simple.
You understand? I hope you understand. I mean, because it's time for people to understand. This is not a race war. And definitely check out Professor Griff. I've studied him before. Y'all even heard of him. Alright? So just simmer down and friggin' understand. I'm not leading you in bad directions. I mean, maybe I am. Maybe I'm just really, gonna deceive, because you know what? Friggin', this is stuff that I looked at numerous times. It doesn't mean that it's right. It just means that, hey, you know what? It's a nice fallback for me to, for certain times when I need to disseminate some information that I'm not capable of providing personally. And so I'm able to use some eyewitnesses. And that's how I journalize. I'm not like a current event journalist. I'm just a journalist.